even showed the right book.
It showed the right
I'm
book.
so proud of myself. Hey, Jason, how's it going?
Good,
Here
Aaryn.
we
How have you
are.
been? Yeah.
It's been a while for the even footnotes book. No, book club. Yes.
Yes. Welcome.
It's not even early in the morning or late at night. It's not. It's just me.
Time is a construct,
Yeah.
and it's early if it feels early.
Yeah.
Yes, welcome to our semi-annual episode of
I
Even
want to
Fitting
do this
James's
more.
Even Book Notes. We always want to do it more. It's not a question of wanting to do it more. Yeah.
That's true.
It's just doing it at all is the
And
difference.
the other thing is that nobody else could do it but us.
Right.
So we were just like, okay, we'll just do it.
Mm-hmm.
So here we are. Today we are going to be discussing The Devils by Joe Abercrombie. This is about a bad news bears kind of team.
Oh, yeah.
They're the worst of the worst.
Mm-hmm.
And they're going to come together and work as a team.
They're going to save the day. Are they going to put aside their differences?
They might put aside their differences.
And maybe overcome some personal issues that they all have.
Make some new friends along the
Yeah, and
way.
make some new friends along the way.
It's just, the universal story of the Catholic Church being powerful and going on crusades.
Yep.
Killing people.
Oh, yeah.
And doing it with all of the worst heretics.
That's right.
So of course there will probably be spoilers because I don't really know. Like that is my most spoiler-free Bad News Bears in a book form.
Right.
About the Crusades is my best non-spoiler.
With monsters.
With monsters, yes.
Yes.
You gotta have some werewolves, some vampires.
Some vampires.
Some elves.
Sorcerers. Some elves.
Yeah. He's a wizard.
He's a magician.
Or no, he's a magician.
He's a magician.
Yes, that's right. My bad. So, Jason, what did you think overall? What was your reading experience like with this book?
Sure. This was not my first Joe Abercrombie. I've actually been a big fan of his writing for a while. I've got a few of his series. I've got actually a couple of signed copies of stuff. I've gotten a chance to have him sign a book for me once or twice. So I've always liked most of his stuff. He is very hit or miss. The stuff that is good is great. The stuff that is not is longer than it should have been. So I was excited for The Devils because it's a new world. It's a new series. It's not one of his, it's kind of outside of his normal stuff. The normal course of his books are kind of Game of Thrones-ish. It's more political intrigue, very grim, dark, very grimy. And this is certainly all of that, but there's usually not that level of fantastical elements. I mean, there's actually a werewolf and a vampire and a magician, and there's monsters and whatnot. And usually in Abercrombie's work, it's a little more grounded in some sort of reality. So I was interested to see him kind of play around with some things. And I like the alternate history idea of using the Catholic Church and the Crusades as the basis. So on paper,
sounds great.
It sounds great. I was like, oh, this sounds fun.
I also am a big fan of found family, which is what everybody's like. This is his take on cozy found family.
This is very much a found family book. Yeah.
I felt, for the most part, I kept you abreast of my reading journey, and it was long.
It is long. All of his books are 400 or 500 pages long easily. I mean,
I understand that, Jason, but I do not mind a large book. I like a big book. Cannot lie, just like likes a lot. And this was, though, felt like a slog.
Yeah. This was pretty mid for Joe's books.
Yeah.
It definitely, and you were right. I think at one point you said this is not a book, this is a series of battles.
Yeah.
Which we agreed also that the original Crusades was also just a series of battles. It does feel like that. Like there's a kind of a lack of connective tissue to some extent.
It is very thin on plot.
Yes. Yes.
And the plot is we found a princess.
Mm-hmm. And we
She
need to get her
needs
from
to be,
here
yeah,
to there. Yeah.
there. And that is going to take ships,
Mm-hmm.
coaches,
Mm-hmm.
traveling horses,
Mm-hmm.
and there will be obstacles. In fact, a, a few too many cousins of the princess who are trying to
Mm-hmm.
offer. I think it's actually we only fight 3.
Right. The fourth one
I
turns out
think
to
it
be
would have
not so
been
bad.
very easily
Yeah.
cut down to 2.
Oh, sure, 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 sure.
But yeah, so getting princess from point A to point B, we have our cast of characters. We have a knight that can't die.
He's cursed with immortality. Yep.
We have a vampire who
Right.
is sometimes very elderly and sometimes the most suave person in the
Depends on
room.
how much blood he's been drinking. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Right.
We have a werewolf.
Yep. Who is also a Viking shield maiden. Yes.
Yes.
And she was crazy before she became a werewolf, and she's just gotten worse since she's become a werewolf. Yep.
Yes.
Yes.
We have an elf, which, by the way, in the course of this book,
Mm-mm.
the elves are the stand-ins for Muslims.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure how I feel about that, but
Yeah, that was a tough one. Because at one point you're like, okay, this is a fantasy, it's an alternate history, and there's lots of different. I mean, Jesus was a girl in this universe, you know. So there's
oh yeah.
yeah. I mean, we can get into all the little plot or the little historical changes, but yeah. And I think at one point they do talk about the Arab world, like they do talk about Muslims as just like another people who have been subjugated by the elves, like in a throwaway line. But
Yeah.
I mean, the Crusades were very much in our history the Christianity against the Islamic world for control of the Holy Land, right? So
Yeah.
when you take the ancient enemies and make them straight up monsters, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But you learn a lesson. They're not all so bad. Maybe the church has been misconstruing how bad the elves are all this time.
And that is the point which I was unclear about. We can get into the elves a little bit later, but yeah, it is not clear about that, and I feel like that is maybe the backstory which I wanted the most and absolutely got the least of.
Right.
Okay, so we also have a magician who thinks he's the main character of the story the whole time. We have a terrible priest.
Yes.
Who is only a priest because he knocked somebody up.
And it was either marriage or the priesthood. Those were the options given to him. Yeah.
Yep. And of course, like all good righteous men in that situation, the priesthood is where it is. Listen, it's fine. Is that all of them?
And there's Baptiste. She's like she's their con artist spy chick who's kind of done everything. Yeah, she's like done everything and she's like their jack of all trades. She's their rogue. She's their party rogue. Yeah.
So we both have watched Our Flag Means Death.
Yes.
Baptiste is their Vico Ortiz.
Yes.
Like that is how I pictured Baptiste the whole time. It's just Vico Ortiz and like just kind of suave, also like kind of fun. Although I also feel like we were trying to do catchphrases in this book.
Very much
over and over again.
Yes.
And Baptiste is, I should have quit after Barcelona.
We all should have quit after Barcelona. They say that about 90 times. Yeah.
Yeah. But and Balthazar is the magician. Which is why it's so funny because I had forgotten, because everybody calls him a sorcerer or a wizard or a this or a that. No, he's a magician. So,
never quite explains what the difference between any of those things are, but he's very sure he's the third best necromancer in Europe, right?
Yeah. So we've got this cast of characters, and we've got our princess, who in fact is maybe not a princess.
No, she was raised as on the streets as a thief. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's very Anastasia.
Yeah. It's very like, you're not sure at the beginning of the book if she is a princess, if she doesn't remember that she's a princess. All signs are pointing to the fact that she's a princess. She's got this special jewelry or something, and she's got the right birthmark, and her name's the right name, and when she is brought in front of a priest, they speak in tongues about it. They, know that it's her. So but she is very reluctant. But it got her out of a life or death scrape where somebody was going to collect her debts.
Right.
And so she goes with them.
Right.
That's kind of the setup.
And this troop is literally like the Vatican's secret soldier. Like they're the Vatican's black ops. I think can't recall if like the 13th conclave or something like that. So Brother Gaz is brought in to be their new spiritual advisor. He's their new leader because I guess they need someone officially attached to the church. And the last one died on whatever their last mission is. But this is the troop. Whenever the Pope needs something dirty done, this is the ones that they call in. Is this vampire and werewolf and immortal soldier and yada yada yada.
I get the feeling also it's supposed to be these are also the very expendable people.
Oh, absolutely.
These are absolutely the ones they can disavow. These are the ones that we're letting them off of their leashes. They're kind of monsters. We call them the devils, which is how we get the name of the book. So it's just this journey of them getting from point A to point B, being descended upon by the people who are in line for the throne, basically, who are these cousins of Alexia, who is presumably a princess.
The princess, yeah.
And along the way, we fight. We scrape by each time.
Yep, just by the skin of our teeth. We
Even
throw out some quips and some banter.
Yeah. We have a knight that can't die. And people keep challenging him to a duel to the death.
And he loses every one.
But he doesn't die.
But he doesn't die, so they stitch him back together and he comes back,
Yeah.
He's literally too old for this shit. Like that's
Gosh, I was ready for him to do the Danny Glover the whole time.
Yeah, the whole time. He's 2 weeks from retirement for the rest of eternity. Like that's who this guy is. Yeah.
But we get there in the end, and we've been betrayed, as you are.
Aren't we always? Yeah.
Yeah. And so along the way, you get some backstory on these characters, but not tons, I would say.
They do. Everyone gets like a couple of chapters that they're the focus of. So they kind of, and but sometimes he gets some back history. Yeah.
Baron Rickard gets very little.
And what he does comes from him, and he's probably making a lot of it up. Yeah. He's very obviously. Yeah.
He's our vampire.
Right.
I feel like we get slightly more of an understanding of Viga as a person who is our werewolf.
Viga's our Viking werewolf. Yeah.
Yeah. Balthazar thinks he's the main character, and so we get a lot of exposition.
Yeah, we probably get a lot. We probably get a lot of. I think most of the chapters that we get from the kind of the secondary, Balthazar gets the most. Yeah, I think he really does get. Yeah.
Sunny is our elf who has a really cool power of being able to hold her breath, and she is invisible while she does that, which is a really awesome limiting power. Like I really liked that in a fantasy book.
And she doesn't know how she does it because apparently it's not a thing that all elves can do.
It's not. It's not a normal thing.
Yeah, it's just something she can do, and she's not sure how she does it. Yeah.
We know that she was from a circus, and that she was mistreated there, and that she and Alexia become an item for a small part of the book. Although it is pretty clear for both of them that.
It's not gonna last,
she's gonna be the emperor. Alexia's gonna be the empress, and Sunny is still an elf who is the sworn enemy of the empire. It's not gonna turn out well. We are never under the impression otherwise. We also, we have a couple, I guess, a couple of couples, because also the priest and the werewolf hook up for a while.
They do.
And
the werewolf hooks up with anything she can get her hands on.
That's true. Yeah, that's fair. I thought I was gonna really like Viga, and then by the end, actually, there were a lot of people that I thought like, "Ooh, this could be interesting." Besides Balthazar, and I don't feel like we got Balthazar is every bro in fantasy who like
Yes.
wizard who is very self-important.
Right. They're all tropes. I mean, these are all very two-dimensional characters. Even if they do go through some sort of change, they don't really.
And so I think the interesting part is at the end of the book, we've seen how all of this growth has happened and we've come together as a team,
Hmm.
and then we kind of get rid of it all
Yeah.
because the team has to break up and no longer is anybody willing to go out of the way for the team. Balthazar in particular, he had shown like, oh, he kind of now believes in the mission. And then he was like, oh, well, if they're not going to recognize me as being like the best guy for being a terrible necromancer
Hmm.
and sprouting a new leaf, I guess fuck them. Because like they should recognize my greatness again.
Right. Right. Well, I think Balthazar. Yeah, Balthazar. So I think a thing to keep in mind is that the monsters, except for Baron Rickard, are under binding from
Yeah.
the Pope, who may or may not be the second coming. I think it's pretty much established that she is, but it's
At
not.
least
Yeah,
Balthazar believes
at
it
least
by the
Balthazar
end.
believes so. So they can't. So Viga and Balthazar and Sonny have to go back to the Vatican after they deliver Alexia to the throne. Yeah, Brother Diaz decides to stay with her and be her royal advisor, which is fine, great, whatever. And Jacob of Thorn, the Immortal Knight, goes back because he's taking personal notes. He needs to be there.
Yeah.
You find out Baron Rickard isn't under the binding. He just sticks around because he's got nothing else to do because he's bored of mortal vampire. So I guess whatever. Okay,
Like
great.
this
Yeah,
seems fun for a while.
yeah. I'll do this for a couple of centuries. Yeah. So even though there might be some personal growth, half of them have to go back and get thrown back into cages at the end because they're under that magical binding that they can't break.
I think even Alexia asks the powers that be if these people can all be with
If she
her.
can keep them, yeah, yeah.
And they said, "No, you can't. They're monsters.
Hmm.
Like you can't keep them. You can't like there's nobody but the Pope who could keep them under an amount of rule."
Right.
And so at that point, he then shows us how these people are monsters yet again. And I feel a lot it's one of those books where I feel like I read it only to have you have disproven to me everything you just proved to me. Like you took me on a journey only to put me back at the beginning.
Hmm.
And I'm not a fan of that.
And how much of that was it sets itself up for sequel, and I believe it's going to be a trilogy, if I'm not mistaken, from what I've heard. And the characters who didn't make it through the first time have been replaced. Like the very last chapter is them bringing in the new recruits.
Yeah, the new recruits, which is the old priest who was we were told was dead.
Right, right. But apparently had been retired, and then they
Yeah.
found some other con artist. But yeah. And I wonder if that was because it was set up as a trilogy. Maybe that growth continues for the monsters who are still there, like the non-special people aren't around for the second book. You know what I mean? Like they're
Yeah.
off. They've completed their
We've gotten
journeys.
rid of Diaz and Alexia,
Right, right.
and now we only have our
Our
tag
core,
team with powers.
right, right, right. Our core four monsters or whatever you want to call them. So maybe maybe the growth continues on as the series continues. I don't know.
We do lose one in the team, but that is not one of the special ones.
No,
I don't
no,
want to.
no.
I won't give it away, but you could probably tell.
You can
who we
probably figure
don't
out because we
talk
haven't
about.
mentioned. Yeah, we haven't mentioned them at all.
I do want to get into this reverse church.
Yeah, I
With
thought that was really interesting. The kind of the alternate history of it. So yeah,
yeah,
you want to give them a rundown of what the reverse church is?
sure. So we've got a church where our savior is a woman.
Mm-hmm.
Our pope is a woman.
Mm-hmm.
We have both, so our priests can be women or men, except not always. In some that we've got a schism in the church,
Yeah, there's a schism. Yeah,
and
much
even
like the
though, yeah,
much like the actual Holy Roman Empire and all that. Yeah.
yeah, And even though our savior is a woman, there are branches of the church that do not want women in the leadership.
Right.
And I think that that is the Eastern
Hmm.
part of the church that
Yes.
doesn't
Yes.
want
Right.
women. Everybody hates the elves,
Hmm.
and we're all together on that. But
The one thing we agree on.
yes, that is our common enemy. And then there are a couple things I think they mention about doctrine and that sort of thing that Brother Diaz gets a little bit like mixed up on. It's very academic, he
Hmm. Hmm.
says, and probably not that big a deal besides the women as priests.
Right.
Um,
I think that, yeah, it was like the men could only go so far, but all of the top, like the bishops and the cardinals and the pope and whatnot, were
yeah,
all women in the Western Church. Yeah.
gotcha. Yeah. And otherwise, it is very spot on
Hmm.
Catholic Church.
Hmm.
We've got circles instead of crosses. I mean, everything is very similar.
Right.
So you come into this, there's not a lot of world building needed because they expect he expects you to know about what's going on. And basically everything you just, we pray to different saints, but
Hmm.
otherwise it's very much the same. So I guess my question to you, Jason, is why do you think we kept it so close and yet changed it?
I think it was. Hmm. m- I don't want to say it's because Abercrombie didn't want to do too much world building, and maybe he was happy with just those few changes that he made, because he does do a fair amount of world building and his other stuff. I think it was so that we felt like there was a familiarity with the time
Mhm.
period that we as readers in our history understood without having to spend half the book spelling out the history of the world, but making it different enough so that, well, yes, but you need half of those. You need those half pages for the 30 battles that go on.
Right.
But maybe that familiarity ends because we've changed the gender of the savior, and now there are werewolves. So it's just familiar enough to feel some connection. And I think
Yeah.
that might have been a shorthand for not having to do all the world building, because you have, if you have a basic idea of European history of the Crusades of the Middle Ages, then you're going to get where he's coming. You're going to understand a lot of the political climate.
I would say that that is my most charitable explanation too,
Sure. Yep.
because there is one other change that you could say is quite a large change from the history itself that I think is in juxtaposition from this very similar church, and that is the elves.
The elves. Yeah.
And it is mentioned several times that the elves eat people.
Hmm.
And this feels icky to me.
Yeah, but we're also, yes, absolutely. But we're also, you also have to understand to some extent, and again, I don't know if I'm giving Abercrombie too much credit here, or this is just my interpretation. These This book is from the viewpoint of the Western Church is the correct church.
Right.
And this is what the characters have been told, and this is what the society and culture has been led to believe by the church. Now, as the book goes on, you learn, oh, wait, the church is corrupt, maybe, and maybe they're not the good guys after all. And I think that's also very intentional what's supposed to happen. So all of the majority that people know of the elves is what the church has told them.
Right.
A generic British guy in 1100 AD, I've never seen a Muslim person. I wouldn't know anything about them other than that they're over
Except
there and they're
when we
trying to
get to
take
the
Jerusalem.
east. When we get
Right.
to the east, in living memory,
Hmm.
they have invaded Troy.
They have invaded Troy, which won the war. Greece did not win.
Yeah.
Troy won the Trojan War. But yeah, yeah,
And
that is true.
and that is where the capital of the east is in
Hmm.
Troy, which is where
Hmm.
we've been trying to get to this
Right.
entire story. And so in living memory, all the Trojans there, they have memory of these elves who
That's true.
are vicious and eating people. And
Yeah.
it's brought up like,
Good
oh,
point.
in the
Yeah.
West, it's just a story to
They're
them they don't
boogeymen to scare the
understand.
kids. Yeah. Yeah.
But in the East, it's so much bigger deal. Like
Yeah.
they know, they were there for it. And so, I don't know, it made me feel real weird. I also have a really weird red flag that I found in the book,
Hmm.
and I don't know if you caught this,
I might not
but
have. Yeah. Good.
there's a war hero named John Galt.
John Galt from Atlas Shrugged.
I saw that and I said, "Excuse me? What?"
There probably was an actual historical figure named John Galt, though. I wouldn't be
There's not.
surprised.
I looked it
Oh,
up.
you looked it up? So Ayn Rand didn't take that name
No.
from historical
I
record?
mean,
Okay.
maybe it was somebody, but it's not somebody famous.
Okay.
I'm not saying that it's not a possible thing, but as far as I looked up, the only mention I had was from Atlas Shrugged.
And he was a war hero?
Yeah.
Great. Okay. Okay. One of Abercrombie's other series, A Time of Madness, kind of deals with the Industrial Revolution occurring in this made up country. And yeah, looking back now that you brought up the Galt thing, there might be some libertarian leanings that I did not pick up the first time I read through the series. Yeah, yeah, okay.
Yeah. So, to my perspective on this this was bro fantasy.
Oh, absolutely,
Um,
absolutely.
I think that it's interesting because I'm online with the book community and I talk about things with lots of people, and I feel like everybody, I think, is clear on the fact that women read more than men
Hmm.
in general.
Yeah, because we're
And
busy taking care of business.
I get it.
I'm kidding.
I know. I
For the,
I
for the
Jason
5
is
people
one
out
of
there
the
who might
least
listen to this, I'm
problematic
kidding.
white
Yeah.
men I know.
Thank you, Aaryn.
It just I don't know. I felt like this was a kind of a ploy to like try and this is going to be found family.
Hmm.
Like maybe you should try this. And I do know a lot of people who came in who were just like not into the grittier ones.
Hmm.
Like
Hmm.
I grimdark, not typically my thing.
Yeah, yeah.
It's I like more fantasy elements. I don't like really not low fantasy because that's not what I'm talking about. Not like in a
Low
but like
magic
low
fantasy.
magic.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So this was my first Joe Abercrombie, and I didn't have any desire to read like The Blade itself or any of
Hmm.
those,
Hmm.
which I
Which
know
people
people
love
love.
because that's a great series. But if this was your first introduction to Abercrombie, yeah, I wouldn't feel the need to read any more of this stuff either. Yeah, this is.
Yeah. So I felt like this was maybe like, hey, could we bring in some people with the softer side of fantasy? And I don't feel like it was a well done ploy if that was the case. And I have seen people love this book.
Hmm.
Maybe somebody will tell me when the next books come out that we really do explore the elves and like maybe they're not cannibals and not being these savages that
Yeah,
are depicted, which really rubbed me the wrong way when we're talking about something that is so close to history
yeah.
and that everybody is a direct representation of somebody else. And okay, and the Muslims eat people? Like,
Yeah,
it
yeah.
does sound like something that might have been said about Muslims during
Oh,
that time.
absolutely. I'm sure. Yeah, like I said, as far as what the common folk were told, the people who had been told this story back in the day,
Yeah.
that's what they were. That's what they knew. Yeah,
But then my problem is that the
it's
Trojans, they know better.
right. Exactly.
They've seen it.
Hmm.
And yet, obviously, we see Sunny, who we get no information on where she was before the
Nope.
circus, before she was obviously mistreated there,
Yep.
but we don't get how she got separated from her people, how she feels about it. She's just kind of along for the ride. She's under the papal binding, but she doesn't really tell us anything about her
Yeah.
people or how
Yeah.
she feels about if she was ever made to fight against her people. So it just, I don't know, it got a little.
If if I was writing this series, yeah, my plan for the next book would be, and again, I don't know what Abercrombie's planning, I would have basically the same setup from the Elven side and have Sunny be the connective tissue. Like maybe
Oh,
they get in a fight with a bunch of elves and the elves kidnap Sunny, and then she's got to relearn what her culture is like, and I don't know, whatever the kid. And so that we get the book from the other side of things. And then the third one
okay.
becomes the two main, and maybe that would answer a lot of the ick that we feel, because maybe the elves tell the same things about the humans, that
Sure.
the
Fair
Christians
enough.
eat their children, whatever the case may be.
By the end of it, you're not surprised by a lot that the church would do,
Yeah.
because it's very clear that they will go to great lengths. They will kill who they need to kill to
Mm-hmm.
put whatever patsy they need on the throne, kind of thing.
Oh, the betrayal by the church was not a twist at all. It was more of
No,
a, when's the church going to turn on them? Because this is the
right.
Catholic Church in the 1100s. Of course they're corrupt. That's all they did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that betrayal, you're correct, is not a
Mm-hmm.
surprise.
Mm-hmm.
But if you were thinking it might be different, too bad. Because yes, the church is corrupt
Yeah.
and is
There are no surprises. Yeah. You can see where the book is going pretty right off the bat to some extent. Yeah.
yeah. Unfortunately, the main twist or whatever, what have you, of the person who does in the end makes the big betrayal was also not a surprise.
No, no.
But yeah, it was I think very much telegraphed, and so I wasn't a fan. I think that the last 100 pages of the book got better.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that part was more exciting and easier to read than just the monotonous battle, basically lose, but we all survive.
Right.
Basically lose, but we all survive.
We,
Basically
we
lose,
we live to
and we
fight
lose
another
the
day.
ship, and we're
Mm-hmm.
shipwrecked and all that.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I don't
It
know.
it felt very much, yeah, it's a D&D campaign with all of everyone's an edgelord monster. Like that's what it feels like. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
just about as entertaining as waiting the 14 rounds for your next move. Uh, like,
Mhm.
I'm gonna wait. Yep,
Yep.
you're gonna get hit, and you're gonna get hit. And now I'm
Mhm.
gonna get to do one healing spell, and now I'm done.
And now, yeah, now I'll wait another 4 paragraphs before it comes back around my time. Yeah, it
Yeah.
did feel like that sometimes. I gotta wait for you to do your cool thing before I can do my cool thing, and then this was definitely lower towards the bottom of the Abercrombie list for me.
What is the top? If I wanted to get into it.
If you wanted to get into it, then you're going to want to read, it's the First Law series, was called. So it's Blade itself, Before They Are Hanged, and The Last Argument at King's. That was the pinnacle. He's written other series in that universe, and some of the standalone books are also very good, but those are the 3 that really are going to grab you. If you like that's going to decide if you want to read more. Yeah,
Gotcha.
if you like those books. But yeah, that series is great. Yeah, this is more lower bottom of the rung for me. It felt like, and I think you're absolutely right, it felt like him trying something new and not being able to quite get away from what he wanted to do, or not being able to break out from what he usually did.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I don't know. It was some of the action sequences were really cool. Like I like a good fight scene. I don't necessarily want one after another, which is what we get a lot of. The banter feels forced sometimes, but I think when you're not a writer who writes banter, sometimes it's tough to get there. Yeah.
And otherwise you end up with, I should have quit after Barcelona.
I should have quit after Barcelona. Yeah.
Yeah. Exactly. We all should have quit after Barcelona. I don't know. It was pretty mid to me.
It would make a cool movie if it was just, if you took the premise
and you edited the crap out of it.
The crap out of it, and made it just like a Magnificent Seven, Dirty Dozen type, team of criminals and reprobates who just happen to be magical monsters, and had them do it. It could be a cool 2.5 hour popcorn movie. Like I think that would. I think I would watch that, but I don't know that I would necessarily.
I think you have convinced me that if we went from the elf side next, I would maybe read the sequel.
Yeah. I mean, I'm going to read it anyway.
But I think that would be the only way.
And that's understandable. That would make sense to me. Is if you're gonna do, and that's what I liked about. If you're gonna show both sides, but that's what I like. One of the things we're trying to do, listeners at home, for this current batch of episodes, is read a nonfiction book that kind of fits in with the fiction book that we read. So we read The Crusades by Terry Jones, the Monty Python guy, which was a tie into the miniseries he did on BBC in the 90s. But it does a pretty good job of saying this is what life was like for the average British person. This was a life like for the average Muslim person at the time. And this is what their armies were like in the middle. So if he's smart, I think he'll kind of try to find the identifiable, the relatable parts on both sides of the conflict. Mm-hmm. So then the tragedy of the war becomes even double because, it is the innocent folks who get caught in the middle of the schemes and machinations of.
Yeah. I think particularly if you saw the worst of the elves, like you saw the worst of humanity on this side.
Yeah.
Or as they're labeled. I don't.
Right.
That's not the point of it, is to show them as the worst of the worst. They have special skills which have made them indispensable.
Right.
And because we'll use anybody who can get us where we need to be. But if we saw what the worst of the worst is, because obviously, like, we're eating people too over here. Like, Viga's eating people.
Yeah, Viga eats people all the time.
Viga is our werewolf Viking. Yeah. She does it when she's in werewolf form, not like regularly. But Baron Rickard absolutely is eating people too.
Yeah. He eats a lot of people.
Yeah. So it's an interesting one. I felt like I had a lot of thoughts to talk about with it, but do I recommend it? Probably not.
Yeah. It's not weighty enough. It's not substantive enough to be like a must read, but it's a little too much of a slog to be a popcorn book. You know what I mean? If you're a completionist like I am, and like you like to read everything by an author, then yeah, you're probably going to read it and you'll probably enjoy a lot of it. But yeah, I don't know that I would tell anybody to start with this one if this is their first Abercrombie book.
Yeah, there were moments that were like, oh, I can kind of see where I didn't laugh out loud or anything like that. I was like, I see what he's going for. It's supposed to be lighthearted and funny.
Yeah.
Do I think that was achieved? Not really.
Yeah, this is a book that tries to be funny by a guy who is not known for writing funny books. I think that's really... He understands the structure of a joke, but I don't know that he knows what's necessarily...
That's interesting. I think funny. That is also true about his dialogue. Like, he understands words people say to each other.
He understands...
I talk words. Listen, I put up a book review on my Book Talk account, and the author commented on it. Ooh. And I had said something like, it's a really fun, cozy, spooky, fighting a bad, evil magic guy. And the author said, I'm putting that on my cover. It worked so good.
Yay!
Because I was so embarrassed because you don't actually think that the authors are going to read what you say.
But I mean, there's no reason for them not to. We read the reviews people write about our stuff.
Yeah, no, absolutely. But it was just funny. I was like, yep, me, words. I do them good.
I do them good. Me talk pretty. I think for me, I'm going to give 2 out of 5 toes for the Devils. That's where I'm leaning.
I put it at about like 2.5. Like, it was meh. And I meh with some... I've got my red flag-o-meter is up.
Okay, that's fair.
When you put... It's just a throwaway reference. Jacob of Thorn says, the legendary hero, John Galt. And I was like, what?
I totally missed that.
And I went online because I was like, am I the only one who saw this? And I found a Reddit post about it. Yeah. And all of the bros were like, I listened to the audiobook and it was Gaunt, like Gaunt or something.
Oh, okay.
And I was like, no, I read the book.
Yeah,
it's Galt.
It's definitely Galt.
It is how it's spelled. Like, it's not... I'm sorry if the audiobook narrator said it a different way. It was very Randian in the reference.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
All he wanted to do was make his magic trains run. Yeah.
And why won't people let him be a genius?
Why won't people let him be a genius? He's just trying to fix everything for himself.
Yeah.
We should read Atlas Shrugged. That's what we'll read next. Yeah.
We could talk a lot about how cringe it is. You reading anything else good lately, Jason?
What am I reading lately? I am reading The Haunting of Hill House right now by Shirley Jackson, the
Ooh.
classic spooky ooky story.
Mhm.
I've seen the movies and I've seen the remakes and everything, but I've never gotten around to reading the book, and it's terrifying. It's not scary like a Stephen King. It's really more of this woman having a psychological breakdown. And I had
Yeah.
never realized that's what really is at the crux of the book. But it's
Mhm.
Shirley Jackson, so of course it's a woman having a psychological breakdown at the sexual politics of the time she's in. But yeah, her mental decline is terrifying. It's really good.
Yeah. I have read We've Always Lived in the Tower and of
Yeah.
course The Lottery because I think
Hmm.
everybody
You have to read
reads
that
that in
in
high
middle
school.
school. Yeah, yeah.
But I've been doing a lot of horror reading as
Hmm.
we're getting into spooky season. And I don't think that I like what I always thought of horror is not, I think, what I read most in horror
Hmm.
because I don't want like super gross stuff. I
Yeah,
want
you don't
like,
like body horror and stuff like that. Yeah, right.
I just read Chlorine where the girl sews her legs together to be a mermaid. Like I really enjoyed it. It was very
Interesting. Okay.
dramatic. But yeah, no, that was lit fic though. It wasn't horror.
Okay.
Although there were horrifying moments of it.
That was
Um,
aspirational.
yeah, it was
Okay.
becoming who she was meant to be for sure.
Gotcha.
I've been reading a lot of horror. I just recently finished Camp Damascus by Chuck Tingle.
Chuck Tingle. Yeah, I read that one last year. Yeah, great, right?
It's amazing.
It's really
And
good.
his new book just came out, and I'm going to his signing on Tuesday.
You have to let me know if he wears
Like,
the bag over his head or not.
oh yeah, he's
Yeah,
going to.
I hope he
Are you
does.
kidding me?
Did it inspire you to go read any of his other
I
selections?
have read I have read
Were
the
you
book.
pounded in the butt by Chuck Tingle's past novels? Yeah.
I have to say, the one about the library card, about how really the library is a gift to all of us. I've read, in fact, the mailman, Mothman makes a special delivery for books.
Oh, I love those books. I just love the titles. Like I've read a couple of them,
Exactly.
but yeah, the
I
titles are
read
just
one
so
of them.
good.
I was
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
okay, this
I
is.
get
I
it.
mean, it's
Yeah.
just funny, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
And I approve of this use of Amazon Unlimited or whatever,
Hmm.
Kindle
Hmm.
Unlimited or whatever it
Yeah.
is. But yeah, no, his
Camp
horror books
Damascus,
are
really good.
amazing.
If you haven't read Camp Damascus, it's Chuck's kind of first mainstream book, but it is kids living through the trauma of a haunted conversion camp. Gay kids, right? Is that basically
Yeah.
what it is? Yeah,
I
yeah,
don't think
yeah.
that it's haunted so much as like it's just
They're doing terrible things. Yeah,
experiments
experiments on
on
the kids.
kids,
Yeah, yeah.
basically.
They're supernatural-ish experiments. And with
As
the recent death of James Dobson, who was himself a big component of conversion camps, you know, give it a read just in memory of old Dr. D.
I was going to say this, Jason, as you are not queer yourself, did you though find yourself identifying a lot with it having been in that fundamentalist Christian
I
stuff?
was going to
Because
say,
I did.
having been an
Yeah.
evangelical kid, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely felt for the characters just coming under that brainwashing, gay or not, queer or not. It was yeah, I got flashbacks a couple times because I've been to that camp, or at least camp similar to, not necessarily with the conversion demon possession, just the evan summer camps.
Yeah.
So yeah, I definitely felt same thing. Oh, did you see the miniseries on
Shiny
Shiny
happy
Happy People
people.
season 2 soon? Yeah,
I
yeah, that gave
watched
me.
the first episode and it gave me like
I got flashbacks on
flashbacks.
that. Yeah, I got triggered a couple times. Oh, I went to one of those. Right? Oh God, yeah, yeah.
No, it was, and I was trying to explain it to Steve and he did not understand it at
Mm-hmm.
all. And I was like, he's like, this doesn't sound so bad. And I was like, okay, then I'm not explaining it well enough
Good job.
because
That I'm
it
still
is
processing.
because and I couldn't go any further in it. I feel like maybe I will go back and finish it, but it was so rough for me.
It gets a little more palatable once things start to break down, and then it's just
Yeah.
like, okay, yes, all right, good. This was a terrible thing from the beginning. Here are the cracks. Here are the okay. All right, I
Yeah.
feel better about it.
The
Yeah.
first one was like it was just kind of the rock concert of it
Mm-hmm,
all. And I was
mm-hmm.
like, oh my gosh, I
Oh
was
man,
there.
I remember being on fire for Jesus. Yeah.
I think that our next month we are going to attempt to read Someone You Can Build a Nest In. We're going to probably try to find some sort of by John Wiswell. we are going to try and find something nonfiction-y to tie in. I don't know what it'll
Mm,
be.
maybe something about building nests. I don't know. Do you have the
It
materials to build a nest in a person? Can you in fact do that?
maybe we'll just build nests out of popsicle sticks and like bring it and show it
There you
like
go. This is the nest I would build inside you.
the nest I built. But until next time, thank you for listening to Even Footnotes. You can find Even Footnotes on TikTok, and that is the only social mediaing I do currently. And oh, also, just an FYI, our book that we wrote is now available digitally through Drive-Thru RPG.
It's the newest book in our game series, Babies and Broadswords. It's Pathfinder.
Pathfinder.
And it is now available digitally and soon
Soon it
physically.
will be available in print. It is
Yes.
not quite there yet. This is, of course, a complete rule book and adventure for Babies and Broadswords, so you do not need the other books. Although on Drive-Thru RPG, I think the core book is also free because I put it to that and I didn't want to change it back. So that is now available for the low price of, I don't know, $19.99 or something like that, because stuff's expensive these days.
Yep.
But that is a family-friendly pirate adventure of children playing pretend or maybe having magic.
In a
Rugrats
sewer.
and Muppet Babies. I still think of that somebody put when it first came out, they said something about fulfilling all of your child endangerment fantasies. And I still I don't think that was meant as a compliment, but I
No,
loved it.
it wasn't a terribly complimentary review if I recall, but I do love that. I did love that bit.
Yeah. So that's available now on Drive-Thru RPG. It will soon be available other places, but it is out now, which we could not be more thrilled that is done.
Yes. Off the plate.
Yes. Thanks for listening, and we will be back with you with someone you can build a nest in next month.
Read along with us. Thanks, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.